Hello everybody, how you doing today? Jeff Lear here again from the Quantum Left in our series of, I guess, pilot episodes leading up to our official launch here a little later on for our informational program. I won't call it news, I won't call it anything else. It's an informational program, and of course my point of view on a lot of different things from a libertarian point of view. Today I'd like to speak a little bit about the Sammy Yatim case here in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. James Forcillo, Constable James Forcillo is back in the news. The gentleman who shot young Sammy Yatim on the streetcar is back at work. What the hell is going on? Why is this guy back at work? I don't understand. He's obviously not a professional at what he does. He obviously is not concerned about protecting the well-being and welfare of Canadian citizens and the citizens of Toronto. That's very obvious by emptying a magazine into a defenseless boy laying on the floor of a TTC streetcar. So what are we doing? Why are we even allowing this to happen as citizens? Why are we allowing the Toronto Police Commissioner to retain the services of such an individual, even if he is just answering the phones for Crime Stoppers? He's a criminal. He's a murderer. He's at the very least a second-degree murderer. I don't think he would have planned this on the way to the location, precluding first-degree murder charge. But he's definitely a murderer. He definitely knew what he was doing. I mean, he's a trained individual. He's supposed to have taken the courses and understand the deadly force. And this was not a case for deadly force. I mean, I'm in much hairier situations myself at the local bar at 20 years old with a fellow with a knife, and everybody was able to diffuse the situation very easily just using people skills. Of course, this is a problem with the police because their people skills and their social skills, their social worker skills, or their mindfulness of emotional situations, well, it's just not there. They're not trained for that. That's not their role as they see it. And so they don't approach these problems from that standpoint. They're not trying to help. They're trying to diffuse a situation. They're a box of hammers and they're looking for nails. They're not out to hug you or help you or whatever they're doing. I don't know. The police services in Canada and North America, well, around the world in general, are actually letting us down. We can't really depend on the police anymore. I don't know that we ever could. But they're certainly not working for the people. And this is a fine example of this. This is happening across Canada every day. The police are lying every day. The RCMP, the Toronto City Police, Bathurst City Police in New Brunswick. We have case after case after case of these guys lying through their teeth and doing everything in their power to deceive the public of what's actually going on. And still, there's a good portion of the public that sees this as an honorable profession and just thinks of the RCMP in their red garb riding a horse up in the Yukon or some damn thing, but that's not what's going on. A lot of these guys are alcoholics. They're having trouble at home because of PTSD. Their organization doesn't even support them. Their organization doesn't support women. It treats women like absolute dirt, especially the RCMP. And we've seen lots of that in the news lately, and that hasn't stopped. The organization, police organization, and RCMP again in particular in Canada, is defunct and should be absolutely disbanded. And the fact that the police services anywhere in Canada have such a hard time disciplining members that break the law. And this Constable Forcillo is another case. I mean, the video is more than enough evidence to have this gentleman just sent home and have nothing to do with the police services whatsoever while he awaits his trial with no pay. And even if we were to give him pay, certainly you don't let him have any access under any circumstances to the police services for any reason. Whether his access is restricted or not, he's still sort of in the inner circle and really doesn't belong there. And this inner circle of secrets needs to be broken up and disbanded too, so the citizens know what's going on. There's a perception out there that the police work for the people, and that's not true. The police are there to serve and protect, but if you'll notice on the side of the cars, it doesn't say serve and protect the people. You'll notice at a G20 summit that the police are not beating up the politicians. They're beating up the protesters and the citizens that want action and would like to speak to their elected officials. But instead of being allowed a forum or a soapbox, they are shown a baton, and kettle procedures are used against them to box them into little areas of the city so that they can literally beat them into submission. And this is the attitudes that we're facing right across the police forces in North America. And it's time for, like, I mean, as a Canadian and Canadians in general, we're a pretty complacent bunch. We don't really, we're shocked and awed, and we go, ooh, that's terrible, and maybe they shouldn't be doing that. But we, for the most part, don't get too excited. And I think it's time we get a little bit more excited and we start to speak out, and as a group, and start to show there's power in numbers and take some of this power back. I mean, we need policing services as a whole. But the powers the police have today, they do not need. People as a whole are generally pretty good. The majority of the population is not out trying to hurt anybody. And the warmongering and innuendo that's being fed out right now by the Conservative government and many governments about how much we need extra security is just an absolute pile of malarkey. It's not true whatsoever. The security is breeding a environment of distrust, which is causing more problems. And if people just let this all go and move down with their lives and just got along. And in most cases, you'll notice that it's not the people that are causing problems. I mean, the general population would never grab a bunch of people and send them to Vietnam or Bosnia or Korea. These are governments that do these things. The people that are going don't want to go. Let me leave you with this quick clip of what happened to Mr. Yatim. Now, if that's not shocking enough for you, I don't know what is. I think it's time that all Canadians have a little pain in their chest and say, it's time to do something. Until next time, I'm Jeff at the Quantum Left. Have a great day.